I grew up in a pastor's home. I was a pretty good kid, had a good family, and I never missed church. When I was 14 years old, I began working for a guy in my church who was a general contractor. He taught me the trade and began preparing me to someday run my own business. When I graduated from high school, I wanted to have my own construction company. I hadn't even considered going to Bible college.
His parents felt differently. They expected him to go to Bible college for at least 1 year. Since he was 17 and still living at home, he kind of had to do what they said. During VIP Day, Brennan visited our campus.
I was very impressed with the professionalism I saw here. I gave in and I went off to college, but I still didn't want to be here. I only took the minimum number of hours and I didn't even sign up for a degree. In my mind, I was just putting the Bible college time behind me so I could move on to the next thing.
During the summer after that first year, God began speaking to Brennan's heart. During one particular service that he attended, Brennan went to the altar, and there he surrendered his future to God. In the weeks that followed, he began to sense that God wanted him to return to GBS for a second year.
I came back, but I still didn't have a specific calling in my life. Many of my friends did, but not me, so I just kept studying.
In October of that year, I led a missions trip to the country of Ukraine. I took President Avery and 4 students with me, and Brennan was one of those students.
One evening, we were all sitting in a food court in the mall in the capital city when President Avery began asking me about my plans for my future. I told him, well, I guess I'm supposed to be here at GBS, but I don't have a specific calling and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. So at this point, I guess I'll just stay here until God tells me otherwise.
President Avery encouraged him not to float through college without a goal. He said he should choose a degree and go for it. Of course, as chair of the missions division, I naturally encouraged him to enroll in the missions program.
I decided the best thing I could do was to take as many different classes as I could. I took several music classes, theology and preaching classes, and I traveled in PR groups for 3 years as a musician.
Brennan was active in ministry in the local church where I pastored. He took opportunities to play music and to preach, and he and I even went calling together. During this time, he also met and began dating his future wife, Yvonne.
I met Brennan my freshman year. Over the next few years, we became involved in various ministries together. We started a kids ministry with other students and were involved in church outreach. During that time, my interest in him began to grow.
As graduation approached, I still had no idea what I was supposed to be doing with my future. At the time, I was working in the maintenance department as a work student. Shortly before graduation, I was offered a full-time position here, which I accepted, while Yvonne finished up her degree. Several months later, we were engaged.
A few days after we got engaged, Brennan got a phone call asking if we would be interested in working as missionaries in Mexico. We weren't even married yet, but they wanted us to fill out an application. We spent a lot of time praying and fasting about this opportunity, and God began making it clear that that was where He wanted us. Shortly after we were married, we officially interviewed with the missions organization and started making plans to go to Mexico.
Coming to GBS was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Through my classes and my relationships with teachers and mentors, God transformed my heart and my spiritual understanding. And the education I received here, I now use to teach others on the mission field in Mexico. If you're not entirely sure what God's plan is for your life, my advice would be to keep walking in obedience, to keep seeking Him, to keep praying and fasting and following the guidance of the authority figures God has placed in your life. As a student, I felt rather helpless at times, not knowing which direction to go with my life. But as I prayed, sought counsel, and obeyed God, it was incredible to see how He opened doors. Sometimes that's how He works. He doesn't give everybody the lightning bolt experience or tell you what His long-term plan is for your life. But if you're willing to follow Him step by step, He'll lead you exactly where He wants you to go.